Iosifovna Stalin-Andriasova, Andreasian, Moscow-born internationally acclaimed concert pianist, Laureate of the Gulbenkian Prize, Lisbon, Portugal, graduate of the Juilliard School in New York City in the class of Oxana Yablonskaya, recreates her professional debut from 1974 by reciting Am Sadako, A Girl From Hiroshima, a legendary poem by Vladimir Lazarev, in honor of the 2024 Nobel Prize winners Nihon Hidankyo, the survivors of Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. Santa Fe, New Mexico, October 21, 2024/PR Newswire PR Web/ Maria Stalin-Andriasova recites Am Sadako, A Girl From Hiroshima, a legendary poem by Vladimir Lazarev, in honor of the 2024 Nobel Peace Prize winners Nihon Hidankyo. Am Sadako, A Girl From Hiroshima. I was making paper cranes. It is not a game. Remember me, Sadako. Maria Iosifovna Stalin-Andriasova, Andreasian, Moscow-born internationally acclaimed concert pianist, Laureate of the Gulbenkian Prize, Lisbon, Portugal, graduate of the Juilliard School in New York City in the class of Oxana Yablonskaya, recreates her professional debut from 1974 by reciting Am Sadako, A Girl From Hiroshima, a legendary poem by Vladimir Lazarev, in honor of the 2024 Nobel Prize winners Nihon Hidankyo, the survivors of Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. Local trending news. Maria Iosifovna Stalin-Andriasova's famous childhood drawing Vertolyot, 1970, from her childhood drawing cycle Children and 1,000 Cranes, was dedicated by her to Sadako Sasaki and to the children of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1971, and is now historically dedicated to the 2024 Nobel Peace Prize winners Nihon Hidankyo, the survivors of Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. Moscow-born concert pianist Maria Andriasova, Laureate of the Gulbenkian Prize, Lisbon, Portugal, graduated from the Juilliard School in New York City in the class of Professor Oxana Yablonskaya. She is the daughter of the iconic Russian composer Iosif Andriasov and Professor Marta Leonidovna Kudryashova Andriasova. In 1995, Maria Andriasova, together with her father composer Iosif Andriasov, was interviewed by Asahi TV, Tokyo, Japan, and appeared on the front page in an article published by Yomiuri Shimbun, Tokyo, Japan, in a circulation of 13 million copies worldwide, in a major story about Maria Andriasova's professional debut at the age of 9 years old reciting poetry by Vladimir Lazarev about a young girl Sadako of Hiroshima. I am Sadako, A Girl From Hiroshima. I was making paper cranes. It is not a game. Remember me, Sadako. Maria Andriasova, Laureate of the Gulbenkian Prize, Lisbon, Portugal, made her professional debut in 1974 in her native Moscow as an actor and a narrator reciting poetry by Vladimir Lazarev. I am Sadako, A Girl From Hiroshima, in a live broadcast for over 2 billion people via ORT International Radio in a gala concert which featured the music by some of the greatest Russian composers, including the legendary Children and 1,000 Cranes Second Symphony by her father, the iconic Moscow composer Iosif Andriasov, Andreasian, as well as the Bells of Kremlin by Rudyard Shchedrin, the Sixth Symphony by Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky, and the Third Piano Concerto by Sergei Prokofiev. Iosif Andriasov, Andreasian, Second Symphony, Children and 1,000 Cranes for soloists, full symphony orchestra, and mixed choir. Text by Vladimir Lazarev based on childhood drawing cycle Vertolyot from Children and 1,000 Cranes childhood drawing cycle by the composer's daughter Maria Marianka Andriasova. Additional text, folk poetry, 1971, Moscow. The composer Iosif Andriasov dedicated his Second Symphony to his parents, Maria Fyodorovna Bejanova Andriasova and Arshak Osipovich Andriasov. Commissioned by the Russian Ministry of Culture, Moscow. Konstantin Konstantinovich Sakva, Chief Editor, Performers. Russian All-State Big Symphony Orchestra and Choir of Radio and Television. Music Director Vladimir Fedoseyev. Conductor Gennady Cherkasov. People's Artist of Russia, Professor, Moscow State Tchaikovsky Conservatory, the Bolshoi Theater. Choir Masters Evgeny Tiza, Ludmila Yermakova, soloist, Galina Borisova, mezzo-soprano, soloist, the Bolshoi Theater. Lev Kuznetsov, tenor, soloist, Moscow Philharmonia, Arat Krikian, trombone, soloist, radio, and television orchestra Maxim Skostakovich, music director, Maria Marianka Andriasova, voice soloist I am Sadako, A Girl From Hiroshima, Russian State Radio and Television, Russian Ministry of Culture, Moscow, Radio Fund of Russia. 1974, as a concert pianist, Maria Andriasova performed for many world leaders, including His Holiness Pope John II in a gala concert at Columbus Club in New York City in 1995 celebrating friendship between the United States of America and the Vatican. This concert was generously underwritten and sponsored by Donald Trump. At this historic gala concert, Maria Andriasova performed solo piano compositions by her father, legendary Moscow composer Iosifovna Andriasova. The concert was attended by many dignitaries, including representatives of Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America and Catholic Archdiocese of New York. Since 2008, for 10 years, Maria Andriasova served on the board of directors at Highbridge Voices, Highbridge Community Development Corporation in New York City, supporting academic and music education for over 200 at-risk youths, and was instrumental in securing major grants for at-risk youths in the South Bronx in New York, including Initiative Recovery Grant from the Fund for the City of New York and George Soros Open Society Foundations, and a major grant from Neuberger Berman Foundation headed by George H. Walker IV of the Walker-Bush family, chairperson of Neuberger Berman LLC. Maria Andriasova is married to the Vatican artist Guillermo Esparza and lives in New York City and in Santa Fe, New Mexico, USA. Media contact: Maria Andriasova Esparza, Maria Andriasova Esparza, 16,462,583,035, Mandriasova Esparza at yahoo.com. View original content to download multimedia https://www.prweb.com/releases/Maria Stalin-Andriasova Recites I Am Sadako, a Girl From Hiroshima poem by Vladimir Lazarev in honor of the 2024 Nobel Peace Prize winners Nihon Hidankyo 302281606.html. Source: Maria Andriasova Esparza.